Hi everyone. Today I'd like to talk to you about Edmodo, which is the social media platform that I've chosen. It's a safe, student-friendly form of social media designed specifically for classrooms. And I chose it because I had never heard of it before taking this course, and I think that it's a really useful social media tool to use in the classroom without having to worry about outside forces and students seeing inappropriate materials because it's designed for classrooms. So first what you have to do is you have to create an account with your email and a password, and they'll ask you which school you're affiliated with. And then once you get in, what I think is interesting is there's a special place where you have to verify yourself as a teacher before you can start inviting students to your classroom. So this website, in addition to being classroom friendly, they really take extra steps to make sure that it's a safe and precautious website for students and teachers as well as parents to use. I do not have teaching credentials at this point, so I couldn't verify myself, but I was still able to design parts of the page and kind of explore Edmodo without inviting any students. If you take a look at the home page here, it does look, if you've used Facebook, it does look very similar to a Facebook page. You have your profile picture up here in the left, you have your tools up in the top with a search bar, and then you've got your homepage materials down the center of the page. And even if your students are elementary students and they're too young to use Facebook at this point, most likely they've seen a Facebook page from a parent, a sibling, a friend, so they at least pretty much know what a Facebook page should look like. So it should be pretty simple for students to figure out quickly how to use. So I'd just like to go through a few of the aspects of the website that you can use. Over here you have groups, and I've created a few. This is very helpful for middle school and high school teachers who have different classes, they have different periods that they have to separate. Not necessarily as useful for elementary student teachers to separate their classes and their groups, but elementary teachers could still have a fourth grade class and say a fifth grade advanced math class, so it would still be useful for them. And it's very easy to create a new group. You just come here and create, and then you name your group, your grade, your subject area, and you've got a new group to distinguish between. The first part is the notes section, so you can put notes right on your homepage for your students to see. I just did a couple examples down here. I started a discussion question with my fourth grade class about the book Frindle, and they can reply right in here. They can have reactions, and they can get a discussion going about the book. I also have one over here, submit your ideas for the science fair by next Friday, and then students are able to just submit their ideas right into this post. There is an assignment section where you can post assignments and students turn in their assignment directly to Edmodo. So the example that I put on here is a math lab that's due for my fifth grade advanced math class. So the students will submit their assignments right here, and I can see how many students have turned it in and how many students still need to turn in the assignment. There is a quiz section where you can create your own quiz, or you can load from a collection of quizzes, and you can choose multiple choice, true, false, short answer, fill in the blank, matching, and let's just come back to our home page. So I created an example here for, again, the book Frindle. So this is a Frindle Chapter 4 quiz, and the students will take the quiz right on Edmodo, and I'll be able to assess their progress on the reading right through the website. There's a polling section where you can ask students questions or you can get their opinions. It's a great way to connect with your class and find out what they're interested in and what their stance on a specific subject is. My example is I'm asking my students which social studies topic they would most like to study next. I gave them a couple options and they can vote. So it kind of builds a classroom community when they feel like they have input on what's going on in the classroom. So the poll is a really great tool to use. There is a calendar so you can keep track of important events with the students. And then there's something called Snapshot, which brings you to another page when you click on it. And what it does is it creates quizzes that are specifically aligned with the Common Core state standards in ELA and math. So say I want to create a quiz for my math class. So I choose fifth grade, and you can come in here and specifically choose standards for fifth grade. So I want to choose a geometry standard. And then math quiz, you name it. You can say when it's due. You can give a time limit on the quiz, and then you can see what it looks like. So you can preview the questions that the students will get, and then the students can go in and take these Common Core aligned assessments. And then you can assign it now, plan for later. And then when the students submit the assignments, both they see what their strong points are and what they need to work on, and the teacher can assess what their strong points are and what they need to work on. I selected Edmodo because it's a tool that I really would like to use in my classroom someday. I think it's a great way for teachers, parents, and students to connect in a digital format. Overall, I found it very easy to use, both through my existing knowledge of Facebook and the layout of the page, and just through exploring. I found that everything was very self-explanatory. I think that with students' knowledge of social media and how well they adapt to new technology, they'd have no problem figuring out the site pretty quickly. Only Snapshot confused me, but I was able to find a tutorial online, as well as many, many other tutorials for parents, students, and teachers about the Edmodo site. My one concern is that I read that students can edit and delete their posts, which I think makes them less accountable, and they could be posting inappropriate content and then immediately deleting it with no repercussions. So that does concern me. But overall, I think it's a great website. Thanks for watching.